Hello, everyone. This is Shrey on the Salesforce Hulk channel. We are beginning with day 4 of lockdown learning, in which what we're going to do is we're going to learn Salesforce during the lockdown, which is there due to the pandemic COVID-19, and we're going to get the best out of this opportunity. So let's have it together. Today's topic is going to be DML statements. I'm going to explain you guys inside Salesforce development what exactly DML statements are used for, what they are, what are the different types of DML statements, and how to use them, how to just write them down in the Apex class. That's exactly what I'm going to explain you. But before than that, what we're going to do is we're just gonna have a little bit of interaction with you guys. So first of all, let me tell you, there is Aman Pathak, who is the winner of the of day 2 challenge, which we posted for SOQL. He was the first one who posted the answer or who gave the answer, and it was correct as well. So we are giving him like Salesforce Hulk swags, which includes a Salesforce Hulk T-shirt, a badge, as well as the title of a junior Hulk. So if you guys haven't checked out the post onto the YouTube channel, I would suggest you to go over here on the yeah, just see that post. We have just posted something in the dashboard. I think we've posted latest post, community tab. I think I haven't posted it over here, but we have definitely posted it on LinkedIn slash Salesforce Hall. I don't know where. Let me just show it to you. I just want to tell you guys about it because yeah, this is really important. Learning is two-way, right? It's not one-sided thing. If I'm teaching something, you also need to try that out every day at your home. So here it is, Aman Patak. He's the junior Hulk, and we have given him a feature on our social media. We're gonna post something more onto our Twitter channel as well as on our YouTube. But yeah, I'm just mentioning the Junior Hulk for day 2 today. So now I'm gonna tell you one more thing, and that one more thing is we have already posted the link for the challenge of day 3 on the video of day 3. So please go check that out. Link, not right now. Please do not go right now. The answers which you're gonna be submitting will be considered after the session gets get towards the end. So that's what we're gonna do. But the challenge is already posted, and the one who corrects the correct answer, and is the one who is giving it back to us the fastest, or the first one who posts the answer on the comment section of that particular video, will get the Junior Hulk title from us, and will get a feature, will get a lot of swags as well. So that's exactly what's gonna happen. So let's move ahead. Let me read some comments, and after that I'll continue with the session for today. That's DML statements, right? So hello Rishabh, hi Madhavi, whatever you call it. Hey Anu, hey Rishabh, very much. Okay, yeah. Okay, hello Kausik, we are also sure. Sumit, good evening. Usama, I'm good. Usama, how are you? Like, please revise the Salesforce governing limits while using DML statements. Want to practice more number of list. Okay. No, it's not available right now. I hope I'm not the first one to tell you that you look like cricketer Ravindra Jadeja. This is something that I've heard for the very first time, and I don't know how Ravindra Jadeja looks like. So I think I just need to check it out. I mean, really, Ravindra Jadeja? Nobody has ever told me like that. I mean, make sure that he looks good, right? I don't know. Ravindra Jadeja? No, definitely not. No, not at all. Nah. Whatever. Let's go ahead. I don't want T-shirt. I want job in your company. Rohit, learn. That's the only choice. Hello, everyone. Hello. I tried doing the challenge but couldn't able to connect with S2 Labs. Okay, Rahul. Hello, Salesforce. Hello. Hi, everyone. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and start with today's session, right? Without Rajini also thinks like that. I don't know how you guys able to relate me with someone who doesn't look like me at all. Anyways, let's start with DML statements. So DML basically stands for data manipulation language, and the name justifies what it does, right? It manipulates the data. What I mean by manipulate is that you've again got two things, right? Number one is the database. Number two is your Apex program, right? Whatever you do in your Apex program, like whatever you want to do in your Apex program, or whatever modifications or changes that you want to do in your Apex program, doesn't or does not directly impacts the records or the data which is saved into the database. So in order to fetch the data from a database, we used to write down SOQL or SOSL. But in order to update the records or insert the records into the database or delete the records into the database, basically manipulate the records of the data which is present into the database within an Apex class or within an Apex code, we need to use DML statements, right? So DML statement is basically used to manipulate the data which is present into the database, and by manipulate I mean you'll be able to create the records, you'll be able to update the records, you'll be able to delete the records, you'll be able to do a lot of stuff with the data. So right, so that's what you're able to do with the help of DML, and it's a very important topic when it comes to Salesforce development, because everything that you do inside the Apex program, most of the time, like 90% of the time, you do something related to data. And if you want to fetch the data, SQL is very important, and if you want to like modify the data or manipulate the data, DML is very important, and DML is actually a very important topic in here. So let's dive into our developer console and see what have we got for DML statements. Meanwhile, I just want to I just want a quick thumbs up from all of you guys, like whether you're able to see the screen properly, everything is quite visible, and my voice is audible, and there is no echo problem that is going on, because me and a person who like there is Saral, who is helping me out with all the technical glitches in my team. We are trying to like sort the things out, and we are trying to make the experience as good as we can. So if everything is good, please give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, like thumbs up, or say good, or say perfect, that everything is good, everything is perfect, right? Okay, so DML class 1. Perfect, clear, perfect, great. Okay, let's start with it. DML standalone statements. So DML, again, as I said, is used to manipulate the records which are there into the database. So there are 6 DML standalone statements which are there. Number one is insert. Insert is basically used, as the name suggests, insert is basically used to insert the records into the database. Update is basically used to update the record which already like exists into the database or into that particular object. Whenever I say database, it's object, right? Records only exists in object. When I say upsert, it's basically a mixture of update plus insert. So whenever there are, like, let's say there are 10 records in like that you have got inside your Apex program, and you're not sure that which one is already there, or which ones are already there into the database and which ones are not, then in that case, instead of using update or insert, you can use upsert. So that basically means if the record already exists into the database, then in that case it's going to update it, and if the record doesn't exist into the database already, then it's going to insert that record into the database. And by database, again, I mean object, right? It's going to create a record into that particular object. When I say delete is basically used to delete the records which are there into the database. So yeah, that's what it is. Undelete. So you must be thinking that, like, with Apex, how can we undelete the records which we have deleted? So if you guys do not know, that there is a functionality of recycle bin. I know I'm saying a pretty silly thing. I know you guys are very intelligent, and you know that there is a recycle bin kind of stuff inside Salesforce. So with the help of Undelete, what you'll be able to do is, if the record is there inside the recycle bin, you'll be able to undelete it. That means it will come out of the recycle bin, and it will be shown in the lists where the record is, right, in the list views and everywhere else. Then comes merge. Merge is basically used to merge different records together, in which the child records gets associated to the parent record. I think I should skip the merge for a while, unless merge comes into the like into the explanation, or the, yeah, or the coding part. So let's start with insert statement. Okay, yeah, everything's good. So let's start with it. So a simple syntax of a DML statement looks like this. You just write down the DML statement, and by DML statement I mean anyone amongst insert, update, upsert, delete, undelete, or merge, right? So you can just write down any DML statement in here. Like if you want to insert some records, you just write down insert in here. And after that, you need to write down the S object. And S object is, like, if you do not know what S object is, this is what I'm saying from last so many videos. Please go check out a video of S object on my channel. I've already posted that. S object is how you denote a record into the database. S object is how you denote, or with the help of S object, you denote a record into the database inside an Apex program. So if there is a, let me just explain it to you in a much faster way. So if there is an object in the database which has got a particular record, and inside the Apex program you refer to this particular record with the help of an S object. That's pretty much what it is, right? So you can just write down that S object over here, or you can use a list of S object, right? We all know what list is, and if you do not know how to create a list, or what is a list of S object, go check out the video on my channel. There is already a video that I've posted about it. So yeah, this is a pretty simple syntax. So like, let's say if you want to insert a simple account, then in that case, how you're gonna write down? You're gonna just write it down like this: insert ACC, where this ACC thing is an S object that you have created, right? Or that you have. And how you create an S object? Like this: account ACC, or you can just get it from a query as well. So account ACC, and please do not write down this code which I'm writing down over here. It's just a sample that I'm trying to show you guys. Change your video quality. So is it very high or is it very low? I think the video quality today is better compared to yesterday. I think connection is also good. Please check that once again. So yeah, so to insert a simple record into the database, this is the DML statement that you write down, right? And this is how you create an S object. And this S object contains nothing. It's null right now. We need to assign it, and I'll show it to you how we do that. So yeah, and instead of ACC, you can also write down ACC list, or a list of any of S object, right? So that's how it works. Now let's talk about insert statement. So over here, what I've done is I've created a simple program so that we can save time, and I can explain you more in the in less time, right? So insert statement. So initially, what I've done is I've created a list of account, or list of account S object, and I've initialized it. And now what I'm doing over here is I am running a loop in which I'm going to be creating 20 account records. And how I'm going to be creating 20 account records, or not account records, but 20 account S objects, I would say. So with the help of new keyword, and then this account constructor, and inside the constructor I'll just write down the parameters which I want to pass to the required fields, or any other field which is there inside that particular object. So there is name field inside account object, right? And for name, I just want to write down lockdown. Let's say lockdown learning, right? Lockdown learning plus I is basically the number 1 initially, and it's gonna be like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 till 20. So we will be creating 20 records, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add those 20 records again and again inside this ACC list. So after this loop gets executed completely, this ACC list will have 20 account records in it, right? And how we create an account is like this. And if you're not able to understand this, please first go to the S object video, check that out. You'll be able to understand it very easily. And if you want to like specify any other field as well, you can just separate it by comma and assign a value to it, right? Number of employees is equals to 100. So this is basically initializing the field values while creating a record, or while creating an S object inside the Apex program. I'll not be doing that right now. I'll just specify the required field, which is name in the case of account, and I'll just add it over here. So now this AC list has got 20 records. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show it to you that how many records I've got inside the account object, right? Accounts, right? So yeah, let's see all accounts. Let's see how many of them are there. Right, there are 50 plus. Let's see, 100. Okay, then there are 120. There are 120 account records which are there, and there is no lockdown learning which is already there into the database. Let's see over here in this particular object. We do not have any lockdown learning. Now, with the help of this particular code, we'll be able to create 20 new account records having the name lockdown learning 1, lockdown learning 2, lockdown learning 3, and lockdown learning 4, whatever, right? And till 20. So let's just copy this code, and I'm not executing this complete class because there is other code as well which is written down in here. So I'll not be doing that. I'll instead like just paste it into the anonymous block, and I'll just execute it over there. So I've just copied it and pasted it over here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just execute this code. Hope it makes sense to everyone. Execute. Yeah. Now after executing it, there'll be nothing that we're going to get into debug logs or anything. Yeah. Let's just close this and let's just refresh this. So there were 120 items earlier. Now let me refresh it. Let's see how many of them are there. So there are 140 now. See. And let me see the lockdown learning records. Like I have the yeah. Over here you can see lockdown learning 2, 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 19, 18, 17, 1. Yeah, this is how it works. So we were able to like insert records into the database. And if I'll just comment this insert statement and execute this particular code, the S objects will get created inside this Apex class, and it will be added into this ACC list, but nothing will happen into the database. So what I mean by that is, yeah. So here is the database, and here is the Apex program. And in this Apex program, what I'm doing is I'm creating S objects of account, right? I've created 20 of them. So let's say there is a list which has got 20 S objects. Unless I'm going to use this insert DML statement, the data that I've created over here, or the list that I've created over here, will not be sent to the database, or will not impact or manipulate the data which is already there into the database, or will the data which we have created over here will not automatically get created over here unless we use a DML statement. That is what I mean by this, right? So you have to write down the DML statement if you want any data to be created or any data to be updated or any data to be deleted from the database. No matter what you're doing in your Apex program, it has got no reference into the database until unless you use a DML statement, right? So that's what the case is. I hope you got it. So that's about the insert statement. Now over here what I'm doing is I'm just writing down a query in which is gonna fetch the records, right? Which is gonna fetch the records of the account that just got created, right? This query simply says that select name, comma number of employees from account where name like lock percentage. So lock percentage means anything after lock will work. Order by name, right? So that's what the case will be. Okay. So now what this code is doing over here is it's gonna get all of those records inside ACC list, and we're gonna just update text as a prefix to the name that is already there. So what I mean by this is, so the records which are created over here are like lockdown learning 1, lockdown learning 10, lockdown learning 11, lockdown learning 12, and so on. So what we are doing is we are fetching all of this data from the database to the Apex class, and let me create another. Yeah. So inside the database, there are these records which are present. So what we are doing is we are creating a list of this, and we are fetching it with the help of SOQL. And inside the Apex program, we are assigning it to ACC list, and we are just updating its name and adding update text before it, right? Before whatever the name is. See, in this particular program. Why? Because we just want to update the name which we entered earlier, right? You can do anything else. I'm just explaining you that I mean how the update DML statement works. I'm not explaining you that what is a real-time scenario example of update DML statement or something like that. I'm just showing you how the update DML statement works. Rest of the things, yeah, if I'll get the time, I'll be able to teach you. Else you can just learn it with the assignments and everything that I'll give you. So yeah. Now at the end of it, what I'm doing again is DML statement update, and after that a list of S object, ACC list. So it's gonna update the records which we got from here with the help of DML statement. We'll be able to update the list which we fetched with the help of SOQL, and the name will be converted to update lockdown 1, update lockdown 2, update lockdown 3, update lockdown 4, and so on. So let's just copy this. We'll copy it along with the query that we had. Just paste it. I wish it is correct. Looks like, okay, I think there's no account list that I've created. I need to first create it like this. List of account, yeah, looks like it will work. Execute. Okay, so it got executed. Now let's just refresh these records. So over here, lockdown learning 1, lockdown learning 10, and the names are like that. After refresh, let's see how it displays it to us. So yeah, there you go. Update lockdown learning 1, update lockdown learning whatever 10, 11, and so on and so forth. So this is how your update DML statement works. I hope you are able to get that. I think we are running out of time. I need to catch it up a little fast. Now comes the upsert statement, right? So inside upsert statement, what we are doing is we are just like, again, the same query will work for this. We are just fetching the query. We're just getting the query where there is unlock, right? Unlock. No, update. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Update, where there is update, and whatever. Oh no, update. I need to write down update lock. Right. This is the name with which those records get started. Now let's talk about absurd. So in absurd, what will happen is like that ACC list has got multiple records, right? It has got those 20 records which we just updated, and it's gonna add the value number of employees as 100. So currently, what is the value of number of employees for those update lockdown? Let's see. So update lockdown learning has got 1250 as number of employees, right? So the employees count is 1250 for all of these records. What we are doing is we are updating it to 100. That's what we are doing. You can update it to anything, or you can do whatever you want. Whatever change you want into that particular record, you can do that. So we'll be updating all of the number of employees value to 100, and also what we are doing is we are creating 10 new records as well. And the name of which is going to be absurd account, or let's say absurd lockdown. That's what the name I wanted. I want it should have. So ACC list dot add a will add them into this AC. Okay, so yeah, so now there is a list. Let me take a help of this. So there is ACC list which has already got 20 records, in which what we're doing is we are updating the value of, so there are like different fields. We are updating the value of employees for these as 100, and also in this list we are adding new 10 records in this list itself, like this. By creating account A is equals to new account, name is equals to absurd lockdown, and then the I, and things like that. And I'll just add it over here, aclist.add a, and I'll just use a DML statement absurd ACC list. So in this, what will happen, these 20 records are already there inside the database. Like, yeah, these 20 records are already there into the database, but these 10 records are not there into the database. So with if we're gonna just write down update, it will update only these 20 records and will not insert these 10 records. And if we'll just write down insert, it will insert these 10 records only. So what to do in this situation in which you're not sure that whether the record is already in existence into the database or it is not already into the existence and we want it to be created. So in these situations, or in the situations like this, we're going to use absurd, which is a combination of update plus absurd, with the help of which these 20 records will get updated because they are already existed into the database, and these 10 records will get inserted. So that's how it'll go, right? Absurd. So let's just, without wasting further time, let's just copy this, and let's just paste it into the execute anonymous block, right? I'll just remove the update thing, paste. And the query, of course, needs to be updated because the records are now like update lockdown, right? So let me just help you verify that what is already there into the object, right? So in the object, there are like 20 records, update learning 1, 2, 3, 4 till 20 we have got, and the number of employees is 1250, and there is no absurd record which is present over here, right? You can see. So now the total records are 140. So after the execution of this, the total record should get to 150, and like the number of employees fields value, which is currently 1250, should get updated to 100. So let's execute this program. Done. Okay, so this is how it goes. Let's see how many records we've got. We've got 150. See over here. This is 150. That means there are 10 new records which got created right now. And when it comes to see absurd lockdown 1, absurd lockdown 10, absurd lockdown 2, absurd lockdown, yeah, till 9, 10, everything. And let's talk about update lockdown things. So update lockdown earlier used to have number of employees as 1250, but now it's updated to 100. So this is how your upsert statement works, right? I hope it makes sense to everyone. Meanwhile, let me check some comments. Can we call standard objects? Yes, we can call. No, standard objects are not S objects. Both standard objects and custom objects can be called as S objects. What exactly the work of anonymous block? Anonymous block is basically a place where you can just write down any kind of Apex code and execute it without creating a class. It's just to test a particular functionality or execute something into your particular onto your org. Yeah, I think someone helped. SR info. Great, yeah, thanks, man. So how do we get 1250? So there is a trigger, or there must be a process builder or something like that that I've created already, which is still active, which is updating the value of number of employees to 1250 by default. So that's what is happening right now by using exactly. I think there are very smart people alive in this chat. I'm so happy. I'm so lucky to have an audience like that. Seriously, like you guys are helping each other out in solving your doubts, and that's really appreciable. Thank you so much, guys. That really means a lot. Shiva, thanks. Use of external ID and absurd statement scenario. I think that's not what I'm going to cover right now, SF learner, but I'll just carry on with what I'm left with, because I'm running short of time. But external ID is again okay. So external ID is nothing but a custom field that you've marked as an external ID, which will help you identify a record uniquely into your object. So that's what the case is. Delete. Okay, so now I just want to delete all of these records, right? I just want to delete all of the records which are there, all of the records which I just created. So what I'm going to do in this situation is I'm just going to write down delete and then the ACC list. So now let's just copy this. And deleting doesn't mean that it will get deleted like permanently. It will get deleted and it will go into the recycle bin. That's what's gonna happen. So yeah, just let's first we need to update the query. And by the way, I'm updating this query again and again to fetch the records which are already there into the database. I'm here to explain you how the DML statement works, not to actually create a program, because it's going to take a lot of time and it's going to be confusing for all of you. So this is a very simple approach. Name like update log. Okay, yes. And I just want to add one more thing. And name like upsert log. Right? That's also a condition that I'm going to add. So we'll get all the 30 records that we created. And now instead of this upsert thing, okay, so we'll just write down copy and then paste. All right, this is how we're gonna write down. So let's just execute it, but before than that, let's see how many records are there. There are 150 items already present into the database. Let's refresh it once again and see. I'm going to come to that. I'm going to talk about how to undelete the records as well. Let's first look at the delete thing. So there are 150 records again. Let's just execute it. Execute. Now let's see how many records are left. 50 plus. Okay. Let's refresh it. 100 plus. Okay. Shit. What just happened? Is it still? Update lockdown. Did it got executed? Let's refresh it once again. It's still there. Shall we execute it once again? Let's see. Did I even wrote down that? Let me see what the problem is, guys. Give me a moment. So it looks like it didn't executed that. Delete ACC list. Let me execute it once again. Zero out of 150. Oh, shit. So there are no records into the, okay, so it should not be and, it should be or, the query, right? It should not be and. Or, right? Because there's no record which has got name like both of them, so it should be or. That was the mistake that I did. I'm so sorry for it. Let's just refresh it once again. 50 plus, okay. Now what? 100 plus, 120 items. There you go. So this is how you need to delete the records and send it to the recycle bin. That's how you do it. So I hope it makes sense to everyone. And there's no update lockdown learning, or there's no absurd lockdown learning, anything like that in here. So I hope it makes sense. So that's how the delete works. Now let's talk about how to undelete those records which are there into the recycle bin. Om Shanti. Due to health issue, I left Salesforce classes, but after watching your coding, I would like to start again. I'm so happy that you want to do it. Go do it. Please do it. So Amreen, I upload all of these videos. So guys, all of you who are there in this particular session, I upload all of these videos right away after the session gets completed onto the YouTube channel itself. So please go check that out. There's no problem with that. Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about undelete. So undelete, again, you just need to write down the statement, and then like it should it should have an S object or a list of S object, right? So then let's just copy this and let's just paste it over here. Oops. So instead of delete, I have just written down undelete. But now there's going to be a twist over here. If you'll just write it down like this, select name, comma number of employees from account where name like update log or name like upsert log, order by whatever, right? In this case, it's not gonna return you the records which are there into the recycle bin. And for that, you have to do one thing. And that one thing is you have to mention a keyword which is all rows, right? All rows should be there if you want the query to be fired on the records which are there into the recycle bin as well. I repeat it once again. If the records are there inside the recycle bin and you want to fetch it with the help of an SQL query, then you need to write down all rows inside the query, right? As a keyword, let's say. And if you want to write down like this as well, like if you want to specify, that you only want the records from the recycle bin and nowhere else, right? Then you can just write down is deleted is equals to true. That means the records which are there inside the recycle bin, right? But I don't want that because I know the records exists only into the recycle bin. There are no records which starts with upsert log or update log which are not into the recycle bin. So that's what's gonna happen. So currently, let's just refresh it once again and let's see how many records are there over here. Or let me just go to the recycle bin, right? I'll switch to classic. Is that recycle bin thing created in um in lightning as well? I think it got. No, it didn't. Recycle bin is there, yeah. So here's the recycle bin, and this is accounts. So in accounts, there are no update or upsert lockdown account or something like that, right? There are only 120 items which are there. And in recycle bin, there are 30 items which we just deleted. Upsert lockdown, upsert lockdown, update lockdown, and everything else. So now what we're doing is inside this code, we are like with the help of this query, we are fetching the records which are there into the recycle bin, and we want to undelete them. That means we do not want them into the recycle bin and we want to undelete them, right? So we're just gonna execute this DML statement undelete. That's what we're gonna do. And let's just refresh the recycle bin. So there are no items to display. See, it got undeleted, and it should reflect it over here. So there were 120 items earlier, and if I'm gonna refresh it right now, it should be like 150 again. Let's see if it is. So yeah, it's 150 again. See. So that's how like the main 5 DML statements work. I'm running out of time, but again, let's come to merge again, and let me first explain you what exactly merge does, or where exactly merge is used when you talk about DML statements. So first of all, merge is not used a lot of time when you're programming regularly, but let me tell you what it is used for. It is basically used to merge 2 records together, 2 or max 3 records together, in which, like, let's say if there is account A1 and there is account A2 and there are associated contacts C1, C2, C3 with A1, and there are associated contacts C4, C5 with A2. If you're gonna execute merge A1, A2 semicolon, then in that case this A2 will get into the recycle bin, right? Or let me just will get deleted, and this A1 will be the new parent for all these child records C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5. That's what merge does. There are not much scenarios in which we actually use this merge statement, but yeah, still, if you want, I can just explain it to you like this. So we're gonna search it like this. So there are 2 records, let's say I think I should not explain you the like I'm running short of time, but I think I should not explain you the this is how the syntax looks like. Just go and execute it. Take any 2 records which have got related child records like contacts and opportunities, and execute this code on to both of those S objects, and you'll see what the result is going to be. It's going to look like this, right? The second one will get deleted, and the first one will be the parent for the earlier ones as well. So that's what's going to happen if you're going to execute the merge statement. And with that, I think I should complete with today's session. Now it's time for a Q&A. So let's start. Let's bring it on, guys, bring it on. And yeah, so just after the video, just after the session gets ended, I'm gonna be posting the link of no. Okay, by the way, I've already posted the challenge link for day 3, which is SOSL. So for SOSL, I've already posted a link. You can go and do that as well, and you can win the Junior Hulk challenge as well. But before than that, please let these things come. Ashwani Kumar, thanks for the session. Anytime, man, it's all for you. Ashwani Prachi, can we write multiple DML statements in the same method? Yes, we can write as many DML statements as we want in a single method, and but it should not surpass the governor limits, right? Will merge break the trigger in any scenario? Say delete context. What do you mean by that? Please explain. What is the purpose of lock percentage? So lock percentage is nothing, Osama. It's just that if you want to search any text, like, okay, so your name is Osama, right? So if I just write down percentage Sama, so it's gonna search every text which ends with Sama. If it is Osama, if it is Tisama, please do not think that I'm making fun of your name or something. But yeah, this is how it works, right? If it gets preceded by AU, Sama, or anything, so that's what the percentage is used for. It stands for any or no character, right? That's what it is. Sunil, thank you so much. How did you learn Java and programming? I'm going to talk about that later in a video. I'm going to be doing a video for that, specifically in which I'm going to talk about my journey. So please stay tuned to this lockdown learning thing. There's a lot to come. Thanks, Shiva. Bro, you know Python? No, I do not. I'm not like I know a bit of it, but no, I do not know how to write programs specifically in Python. First four letter would be lock and then anything. Exactly. So SR info explained it again. Thank you so much, man. I'm watching all your videos. Means a lot to me, Ritraj. Are you the same Ritraj that I know or that I've worked with? When will we get to learn batch class trigger? Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I'll keep these important topics as the next topic. Uh, in the agenda. I'll post the agenda tomorrow for all the coming days. Mm, okay, I think there are no questions coming up. When are you going to explain about governor limits? Governor limits again. I can explain like okay, so I can explain about governor limits and batch epics in one session. Let's make that happen. So you know about SQL now. You know about DML statements now. Let's make tomorrow's agenda as governor limits and batch epics. How about that? Give me a thumbs up if you want that. Your passion towards Salesforce inspired me to learn Salesforce. That really means a lot to me, Lohit. Okay, so tomorrow's agenda is going to be batch apex and governor limits. Let's make that happen. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you want that to be the topic for tomorrow's session. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Tomorrow's session, yeah, good, cool. Perfect. So cool. Okay, makes sense. So with that, I'll wrap up with today's session. Now it's time for all of you guys to not go and watch Ramayan, which I'm gonna be doing now, but to solve that challenge and win the Junior Hulk challenge. With that, I'll ask for your leave. Thank you so much, guys, for attending this session, and please spread the lockdown learning thing with all of your friends who want to learn Salesforce live with me and want to connect with me. Share it as much as you can. Thank you so much. Bye bye. I'm new to Salesforce. Can I pursue without Apex coding? So I think if you're new to learn, if you're new to Salesforce, you should learn Apex coding. What do you want? I'm kind of confused. So many materials on Apex. Can you help me? What covers the complete list of Apex? I can, Wazid. Go do one thing. Go check out my website shreysharma.com. It has got a complete list of the topics which are there in an order as well. Can we please explain eyes? Oh, what is this? Please make separation of admin class 1, class 2. Like, okay, I'll do that. I'll post it. And in admin, I'm gonna post a complete series which will help you learn it. Right? Thanks to the trigger framework as well. We'll talk about that later. Let's make governor limits and what batch epics as tomorrow's what? Agenda as a topic. With that, thank you so much. Good night. See you tomorrow at 8 o'clock live on Salesforce Hulk channel. Bye.